Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Morning Coffee with James. I'm James, and welcome to my morning coffee show. I hope you're all doing swell today, because it is Friday the 18th. Today's my dad's birthday. Happy birthday, Dad! And today we're going to be talking about the Maui situation. For those who don't know, there was a fire, big wildfire in Maui that caused a lot of people's homes to be lost. 99 people died, and some shady shit going down, especially with certain leaders, Democratic leaders, that let this happen. Now, before I get into conspiracy theory land, and we can talk about the conspiracy theories about what caused this and how this all started, let me just say before I start, I know there's facts behind this. Number one, yes, it was caused by a certain electrical fire. Now, before I get into the whole bullshit of this and say, oh, well, you're wrong, and blah, 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 I just want to say this, and I want to say this with absolute clarity. As somebody who understands fire science, yes, this is what happened. And it's the same thing that happened with Canada and the East Coast. Excuse me, the West Coast, with their fires and stuff like that. It was about clearing the brush. First of all, there was no clearing of any brush whatsoever. And this is my problem with these environmentalists. So, for those who don't know, the reason why some of these fires start happening and stuff like that is because you don't create, a fire break. You don't clear away brush from certain electrical things. You don't clear away sticks and trees and chop down, make a fire break. Well, what that is basically you have a forest here and you have a forest here, and in the middle you have just a strip of land that's separating the two. That is what is called a fire break. And when I say one side gets a fire, it will start to move over, but it will stop because there's no fire to jump over and hit, and hit the other side. So it stops, and that's how those fire breaks work. However, if there's say sticks and dry grass and this and that fire's going to make an easier exit over there. So what happened in Hawaii, and I had to do this a couple of times because let's just say a certain man in Ohio, I think it was Ohio or the Midwest, said some things, and let's just say he's no longer on his plane of existence. But speaking about, saying shit. Okay, I'm going off topic here. But, yeah, what was the fire breaks? So anyway, what you do is basically clear out the dead trees, you clear out the brush, you clear out everything, just so that there's no fires that break out. And when something sparks and stuff like that, there's no fires and no burning down anything. Now, I bet you that there's some environmentalists that said, no, we gotta protect the environment, we gotta protect nature and all that stuff, and we can't destroy, you're gonna chop down trees and deforestation, and oh my god, and we're killing the planet. And that's what kind of happened here. That nobody was cutting down any, dead stuff or removing it. And to quote Steven Crowder, if it was because there was some kind of rare bug or some nonsense like that, I'm sorry, that bug deserved to die. I'm sorry, if you won't breed for your species, then no, get away. But the thing that kind of bugs me about this, no pun intended, is the fact that this was probably caused by environmentalists who didn't want to chop down any trees because they thought they were destroying the environment. You're supposed to clear that out. That's what conservationism is about. You clear out all the dead things, you clear out all the dead trees so that nobody gets hurt, or the, environment can survive and stay there, because you don't want anything rotting there, you don't want anything to be causing a fire or a hazard of some sort. You do that to protect the environment. And everybody laughed at Donald Trump because of that. Oh, he's so stupid. And it's like, no, he's not. He's speaking the truth, and this is coming from a former volunteer firefighter. That's what you do. You create a fire break. You clear out dead trees and leaves and sticks and whatever, grass, and this is what happened with this, supposedly. Another thing that happened was they cut off the water supply because of, again, environmentalists who, we have to save the water and conserve the water and all this stuff to save the planet. And all because of some activist who was running that was from the Obama administration, or I believe it was like an in place Obama guy. I don't know, but it's just another stupid fucking thing that these leftists don't understand. If you're trying to conserve water, okay, fine, you're trying to save the planet, but if there's an emergency and people's lives are there, fuck your activism. We need to save those people. And how do you think those firefighters felt when you cut off their water supply and you couldn't save anybody? That's the worst feeling in the world, when you can't help anybody, save anybody. And they lost 99 people and plenty of homes, cars, everything. These people have nothing now anymore. And they had to hide in the ocean, but I'll get into that in just a moment. And then the alarm system that's supposed to warn these people to get out didn't fucking work. It seems like it seemed like it was just incompetence from Democratic leaders. I mean, granted, you vote for what you get for, but to be honest with you, this is some suspicious shit. And it seemed like they just didn't care. And it all due to the incompetence of certain leaders in office. And this is why I'm annoyed with... I already went on my rant about, going to the beach and then having to deal with the traffic because they went paperless, physical moneyless, and with plastic card, which made no sense. So now they're causing more problems. This is the problem with environmentalists, leftist environmentalists, not right environmentalists, because right environmentalists understand nature. They understand what needs to be done. I know they hunt though, but yes, they hunt, but they don't go out and just start Ramboing deer. No, there's rules to hunting. You silly gooses. Do me a favor and stop eating carrots and understand how hunting works. Above all else, I'll tell you this much. Yeah, despite all the information I'm not giving you, I know I'm just giving my opinion, but this was all due to the fact that Democrats were incompetent. I'm sorry I keep picking on your precious Democrats. Yes, the Republicans, the rhinos especially, or a big bunch of assholes. And I know people want to scream out, it's a uniparty! I know it's a fucking uniparty, okay there, folks? I don't mention the uniparty constantly, because here's the thing, there's people on both sides of this equation that really do want to help the American people. They see the left does see the incompetence, the real classic liberals see the incompetence of the Biden administration. The right sees the cowardliness and GOP and, rhinos of the fucking right of the GOP. So nobody's blind to this. Nobody's blind to the fact that we have two sides that are fucking each other, fucking everybody over, who are basically one uniparty. And that our illusion of voting was not real. Well, then how come we got Donald Trump in office? Oh, he's part of the uniparty. No, he's not. Why do you think they're going so hard on him? He was a Democrat before, but now, they hate him. They absolutely hate him, and they're going to try to tear him down. Because they can't control him. But, again, I don't want to go say a lot about this, but people did lose their homes. A certain amount of people lost their homes. I want to talk about that in just a moment, because I know I'm going to go into conspiracy theory land. But this is the same situation they had with East Palestine, with the East Palestine situation, because Biden, with that situation, the administration, that was another failure, and especially from our Ministry of Transportation, our Department of Transportation, that was ran by Pete Buttigieg. How gay of a name can you get? And I know he's gay, but let's be honest. If you looked at that man, he's just kind of a wimp. Most of these people are. We're saving the environment. No, you're not. And also the fact that whole situation, let's be honest, they were teaching those people a lesson because they all voted for Trump. They all voted against Biden. And they're teaching them a lesson. Oh, we're not going to give you any help. We're going to hurt you. Unless it was, if they called East Palestine part of Ukraine, they probably would have gotten money. Which, by the way, now you're 900 of you're sending now 900 of your good earned money a year to Ukraine. I'm sorry, but apparently, and again, and if you voted for Biden, you may have started World War III. And I know people out there, I didn't start World War III. Yeah, you did. People were screaming about, Donald Trump's going to start World War III, but look where we are now. Russia and Ukraine. Let's be honest. How come, Putin didn't invade when, Donald Trump was in office? Because Donald Trump's a crazy motherfucker and not a career politician. And second of all, Biden didn't help East Palestine. He didn't help his own people. Guess who came to help? Trump. Yeah, he did. Brought some water. He brought not just some. He brought a lot of water. A lot of people were coming to help this guy. And even Michigan, like before even all this shit happened, Michigan was suffering too. But this is the issue I see here, folks. This is the issue I see in front of our eyes. Like, they don't give it, and again, they don't give a shit. And especially what Biden's response was when he was riding his bicycle, which I hope he doesn't fall off of that again, because we know he's not good with bikes or stairs or any kind of movement whatsoever. Because he has dementia, but nobody wants to mention that. You voted in a man whose brain is literally falling apart from all the cocaine and crack cocaine he did. Probably with his son. It's just, the fact that, we're going to send you a $700 check. How about just rebuilding their homes? How about just having people go there and fix their homes? And this is why I don't trust government. $700, while we're giving $900 a year to East Palestine, to Ukraine, and we're going to help Maui out now? Sorry, but that's bullshit. This is another fucking disaster that the Biden administration caused. And now that we're done with everything like that, I'm going to go into conspiracy theory land. I think there are some fishy things going on here. Let's be honest. If you understand the agenda that Bill Gates, all these people, like why this is happening and why farmland is being bought up and why we're being shoved into cities and to live in the pods and eat the bugs and all this shit, is because they're treating us like animals. They want us to be in a pen. They want us to be in these unicities. They want us to be slaves to them. And they want all the land, they want all the properties so they can farm us and they want to control us, and that's what's going on here, folks. And I know I'm going in conspiracy theory land, but you should have been warned. But I'm not going to be talking much about this, and I'm going to be honest with you about this. This whole electrical system thing is kind of bullshit. And this is coming from a volunteer firefighter. And I was reading somebody's comments that were talking about this, and they were studying fire science, which is part of being a firefighter. You've got to understand how fire works. And something doesn't add up here, because a lot of buildings, not just buildings, got burned up, and cars got burned up, a lot of properties got burned up, but apparently a lot of rich billionaires' mansions didn't get burned up alive. A lot of buildings that Barack Obama owns, a lot of buildings that Oprah Winfrey owns, a lot of these beachfront properties, all these activists talk about, can't own beachfront properties, the sea will rise and destroy us all, doomsayers. How come they own beachfront properties when they're talking about climate change and the oceans rising? Which, by the way, Al Gore is full of shit. He said by 2012 the ocean levels would rise. Shut the fuck up, you stupid bastard. He was wrong. I'm better peg. I'm super ethereal. Shut up. The fact that these people lie to you constantly. These people do not care about your environment. They fly around in jets. They eat steak, by the way, which AOC wants to stop farting cows, and you can't eat meat because that's going to cause climate change. Your daily life is causing climate change, and climate change. This is an excuse to control your fucking life. And which, by the way, they also said back in the 70s, back in the 90s and 80s, global warming. And the ozone layer, which we all stopped using, aerosol stuff and all that stuff. And the ozone layer fixed itself. It wasn't like this permanent thing we caused. It fixed itself. Nature heals itself, fuckers. Maybe you don't understand this, but nothing is permanent in this world. Things can, especially nature. Nature heals itself. Once we stop doing bullshit to it, it will heal itself. That's the power of nature, and especially in this world, things heal it. We can heal ourselves, and I won't go into the dietary things about it. But let's just say, meat, it heals. Just saying. Not going to get into an argument. That's a little segment. But I'm also concerned, too, that, I don't want to talk about energy weapons and lasers and stuff like that, but I'm just going to say, take a look at the Star Wars program. I don't think they've stopped after the Cold War. I'm just saying that. Just going to say that. And I do believe that this may have been started by man-made. I do believe, not just man-made in the sense of negligence, but also by, a little thing by our friend Arson. These environmentalists demand that we, think climate change is real and that we're stupid and we're denying science, so we're going to burn down some... I'm saying that because if you take a look at the evidence with, Canada and their wildfires, if you take a look at the evidence in, the West Coast and their bullshit and how all that fire started, it seems, and I'm just saying, it seems somebody's trying to force an agenda down our throats and trying to force it by causing these things to happen. I'm just saying, maybe not. But it is suspicious that certain people's homes didn't get burned down, especially the super rich. And I'm talking about the super duper rich, not the, people who made their money and don't really control the world, but the people who do. I'm just saying. People who are possibly friends with a certain individual who didn't kill himself, who owns an island, and his name rhymes with Epstein. But this is the thing I'm kind of concerned about, folks. This is the kind of thing I'm concerned about. Maybe these fires were possibly, I don't know, maybe we're starting to get people off their land to make them live in, cities, and that rich billionaires like Gates and Zuckerberg and all these other psychopaths could buy up all this land to do whatever God need what. I don't know. I don't know why they need it. But that's just me. And that's just a theory. A conspiracy theory. Till next time, gamers. I think I spoke long enough. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Take care, love you, bye-bye, and remember to keep your eyes open, folks, and stay awake. You beautiful people. Peace be with you.